Hey everybody, this is Mr. Storm, and in this video we're going to learn how to build our own website. This is going to be great because we're actually going to write the code to build our own website. And there are a lot of really easy to use features out there that will help us to do this more effectively. So I'm on a website called replit.com, replit.com. This is where you're going to want to go. This will allow you to create your website, publish your website to the internet, and turn in your projects for this class. So we're going to go to replit.com and I'm going to log in. You're probably going to need to sign up. Just click sign up and then sign up with your Utah Military Academy Gmail account, your UMA email address. When you do sign up, you will see a screen that looks relatively somewhat like this, right? This is my account, David Storm. I'm going to create a new REPL over here, this big blue button plus new REPL. And this is going to be an HTML, CSS, and JS REPL. So those sound kind of scary, but let me explain what those mean. HTML is it's a language that allows us to build the structure of a web page. So like the actual structure, and we're going to do some HTML today. CSS will allow you to design the structure so that you can change the background color, the fonts, all that stuff, and make it look interesting and really cool. JS stands for JavaScript. We're not going to do any JavaScript today. We're only going to focus on building the web page and making it look nice so that later, whenever we build other projects, we can post them to this site and it looks really cool and interesting. We want our friends to be impressed by the cool things that we make. So I'm going to choose HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and I'm going to give it a name. Today, right now, we're just going to practice. So this is going to be practice website. Okay, I'm just going to practice here and just kind of show you some of the HTML concepts. So I'm going to click Create REPL. Now, while that's loading, I'm going to take us to another website, which will give us a bunch of information. There is a website called w3schools.com. And w3schools.com is a place where all of the information you need about how to build websites lives. So if we look here, we have HTML, we have CSS, JavaScript. We can even learn some more programming languages like Python, SQL, all kinds of stuff, C++. So there's all kinds of stuff on this website. This is an amazing website for you to play around with, especially when you're trying to learn a new programming language. Let's say you want to do some C# programming, which we'll do some in this class in the next term. You can learn C# here at this website. Graphics, you want to learn how to make graphics, you can do that here. If you want to learn cybersecurity or learn Raspberry Pi, you can do that here. Artificial intelligence, machine learning, there's all kinds of cool stuff here. Oh, and there's a game down there. Let's not play the game, right? We're going to make our own games. All right, let's scroll back up to the top and go to HTML. And I'm going to click on Learn HTML. And it's going to take me to this website here with all of these instructions over here on the side, all of these references for us to play around with. Okay, forms, graphics, media, all that stuff. And then we have try it yourself exercises that we can play with, HTML examples, exercises, there are all kinds of stuff in here. So this is going to be a good reference for when you're building your website this week. You can come in here, you can even copy and paste code snippets out of this website and put them into yours. So it's a great resource. I just want to make sure you guys know about this website, and we're going to use it to reference things that we're going to do. All right, let's come back over here to our practice website. Now, this kind of looks a little scary to me. This is all kind of, I don't know how to read this, right? A lot of computer programming is really just kind of learning how to recognize what all these symbols mean, right? Now, it's not important that you know everything on here, but just for a very quick reference, it is important to know that there is a difference between an open tag and a close tag. So let's take a look here at this example. We have HTML. That is the open tag for HTML. Then we have the close tag for HTML. everything in between the open and close tag is going to be inside that HTML element. There's another example here. We have a head element. So that's the open, and that's the close. Everything in between those two is inside of the head element. Now, if you can see, there's a big difference between open and close tags. The open tag has these angle brackets, right? These Pac-Man symbols, the bigger than, little than, bigger than, smaller than symbols, and then the word. The close tag has the same symbols, but before the word, there's a /. Okay, so that's how you know that that is the close tag for that element. So everything inside there goes in the head. And then down here we have the body. We have the open tag for the body here and the close tag for the body here. We have one element inside the body. This is called the script element. We're actually not going to need this, but I'm not going to delete it. We can just keep it there. It'll be good for us to use that later if we do some JavaScript. So for a website, anything you want to show up on your website has to go inside the body. By inside, what I mean is it has to go between the open tag and the close tag. So here under the script element, I'm just going to hit enter. So I have an extra line. And I'm going to create something called an H1. So I'm going to type that greater than symbol, the Pac-Man, right? And then I'm going to type H1, exactly like that, lowercase h, and then a 1, and I'm going to close it off with the other symbol, right? So that is my H1 open tag. And what that means is we want to put a header on our web page, basically a big text, right? Some big text. So I'm going to say this is a header. Now, I have to finish it with a close tag. So I do the open Pac-Man. Now look, Replit is trying to tell me, it recognizes kind of what I want to do. So it's saying, hey, you can do the close tag right here. All I have to do is click it. Sorry. And it'll finish it for me, right? So now I have something on my web page. Don't worry about anything in the head. As a matter of fact, we can change one thing. Here's one thing you might want to change. Notice up here we have this title element. This title element has a word inside of it. Right now it says Replit. We might want to change that to the name of your web page, right? My web page. What this means is whenever you have a new tab open in your web browser, whatever words are going to be shown on the tab, those are in the title. So this title here is whatever words are going to show up on the tab. So you can change that if you want. But now we have something in the body. We have an H1 in the body. I'm going to go ahead and click run, and we're going to see what happens. Now notice over here in my web page, we have this is a header, which is exactly what I typed here. And notice that the text is nice and big because it's a header. Let's put in another text element. This time, let's create a paragraph. It's just a lowercase p. And I'm going to say, this is a paragraph. / oh, there we go. And I'm going to run it again. Now I have a header and I have a paragraph. Okay, pretty easy, right? This is pretty easy stuff. So I can put some text on my web page. Now, we have more than just one kind of header. There's also H2s, H3, H4, H5, all the way down to H6. So, and they all get smaller as the number gets bigger. So an H1 is the biggest, H2 is a little smaller than that, H3 is a little smaller than that, so on and so forth. So you can play around with headers to kind of like organize your web page in a little bit of an easier way. Okay, cool. So that's some text elements. Let's talk about, let's put a picture on this web page. Now, pictures are actually kind of easy to do. Let's go over here to W3 Schools, and I want to show you over here. Let's take a look at images. So an image is created in a web page by using that open tag format. So we do the greater than symbol, and we use img. That is the element, the image element. Then we have this thing that says src. src is, technically it's called an attribute, And the src attribute stands for source. What is the source of our image? Now it can be a file like this. This is a JPEG file, so pic_truly.jpg, or it can be an image you find online. I recommend that you grab any picture and you save it into your project. I'm going to show you how to do that now. Let's find a picture that I want. Let's do, I don't know, cute dogs. I'll find a picture. That's a picture of a cute dog. I like that picture. So right here, I'm going to save this picture of this dog. I'm going to right click and I'm going to save image as, and I'll go ahead and put it on my desktop here. So it's going to be called, I'm going to rename it. Let's rename it to cute dog, just like that, cute dog.jpg, and I'll click save. So now it's going to put it on my desktop. Over here in Replit, notice that I have a section called files. So these files are all files that belong to my website. I have a file called index.html. That's where I'm writing all of my code for my website, or my HTML code. Over here, oh, went to the wrong thing. Over here I have script.js. This is where I would write any of my programming that if I want to make it do something different, which we'll talk about later. And then style.css. This is where I'm going to put my style code to change the background color, the fonts, all of that stuff. So we're going to do that a little bit later as well. I can also add other things in here. And as a matter of fact, I can add a folder to put all my images in. But I'm just going to drop my image right in here. So I'm going to click add file. Oh, actually, no, I don't want to do it that way. That's not a good way to do it. I'm going to move this off to the side, and I'm just going to drag my cute dog right into there. Okay, so notice I have cutedog.jpg, and that goes right into my file section. Okay, so now I can actually write an image element that will bring in that cutedog.jpg. So I'm going to do that open Pac-Man symbol, img space src equals cutedog.jpg. Now it's really important that you spell this exactly the same way as you spelled the file name, because it's looking for that specific file. Okay. And then I can close it off. Now the image element does not need an end tag. Like notice how my paragraph element here has an end tag. The image element doesn't need an end tag. So that should be fine. When I run this, it should put my dog picture on my website. And it did. Look at that. That's pretty great, right? The problem is this dog picture is actually really, really big, and it kind of doesn't match the rest of my site. So I can do this. Inside, I can say width equals, and let's say 200 pixels, right? So I can say I only want it to be 200 pixels wide. I can also set it to a percentage. I can say, 20%. That would make it so that it will grow and shrink as I make my screen bigger. But let's try to see what 200 pixels looks like. So now it's shrunk my picture down a lot, right? So now it looks a lot better on my screen. Now you can also set the height of your picture, but if you set your height and your width, but you do it in a weird way, like let's say I want my height to be 500 pixels, but my width is 200, it's going to stretch my picture and make it look weird, right? So I usually only set one or the other, either width or height. So I'm just going to do width there, and my picture's still going to look good. Okay, now there's a whole lot of other things that we can do on a web page, including creating links and adding forms and all kinds of stuff. But right now, I think this is good enough. Next, I want to talk about designing this web page a little bit. So over here on the HTML or this W3 Schools website, again, there are a ton of other things we can do. We can put symbols in there. We can do, comments inside our web page. We can do all kinds of stuff. I want to learn how to design my page to make it look a little bit more interesting. So over here, instead of HTML, let's go over here to CSS. I'm going to click on the CSS button, and I can start learning how to write some CSS code. First of all, I want to change the background color of my page. So we can actually create a background, like an image background if we want. If we find a really good picture and we want to make it our background, we can do that. But for me, for right now, I'm just going to do something really easy. I'm actually going to just copy and paste this code right here into my CSS, because this is going to change the body, meaning the entire body element on my website, which is basically the whole website. And it's going to set the background color to light blue. So I'm going to come over here, and instead of doing that in my index, I'm going to go down to my style.css. I'm going to click there, and I'm going to just paste that code right in. So if you didn't know, Control C is to copy, Control V, is to paste. So now notice that I have my body, background color, and light blue, and it's actually showing me kind of what the color is going to be. Let me run that and see if it makes any changes to my website. And it did. Notice my background color changed to light blue. So that's good. That's how we can, sorry, my ankle itches. That's how we can change the design of our web pages a little bit. And if maybe I don't want light blue, maybe I want something else. Let's try something like, I don't know, red. See what that looks like. Let's see what a red background looks like. Ooh, I don't like that at all. I think I like light blue. Maybe I don't know what color I want. Come on, you were doing it. You were doing it. Oh, there we go. Maybe I want to change the color like this. So let's go, let's do like a greenish, like a light green. Yeah, let's try that. Now notice that it's changing it. Instead of saying the actual name of the color, it's doing this RGB 134240178. That's just a special code for that specific color. So I'm going to click run, and it'll change it to that nice light green, which I really like. So that's one way you can change the color of your background. Let's actually change the font here, because I don't like this font. I want my fonts to be different. So let's come over here and let's look for something that might be our font. Oh, look, CSS Fonts. So let's see. There's all kinds of cool fonts that we can use. So let's see. I think I want to use Arial, Helvetica, and any other sans serif. Now, the reason why they're listing 3 is because if the web browser you're using doesn't use this one, or doesn't have this font available, then it'll go to your backup. I'm actually going to copy this, and I'm going to come over here. Oh, not there. I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to paste it here. Now here's the problem. This is actually asking me to associate this only with something called a class. I don't want to do that. I want this to be associated with my header. So let's say H1. So I want all H1s on my page to be in this font family. So I'm going to run it. Now notice that the font in my header has now changed. Okay. But the font in my paragraph element did not. So let's say I want the entire web page to have the same font. How would I do that? Well, there's 2 ways I can do that. I can either indicate that both H1s and paragraphs need that font, and that's a way you can do it. You just separate them through commas. Or since I already have something changing the body up here, I can literally just take this line and drag it up here so that it's inside the body as well. So let's get rid of that. And now every piece of text on my website will be those fonts. And it is. Perfect. Now there's all kinds of cool things I can do. For example, let's say I want a good border around my picture here. So I'm going to say for all image elements on my page, I want a border, and it's going to be, let's say 3 pixels solid white. So I'm going to put a solid white border around all of my pictures. Let's do that. And look, I have a nice white border around my picture. So there's all kinds of stuff you can do. And again, all of the information you need to create the cool stuff you want to make is right here in W3 Schools. So HTML, CSS, it's all in there, okay? So this week, you are going to have the opportunity to play around with these ideas and build your own arcade website where we can post your images or your projects for this class. So hopefully using using HTML to add some items to your web page and using the CSS styling code to make it look nice, you'll be able to come up with a really cool looking website that we can then post all of your projects to. All right, that's it for this introduction. I will see you in the next video.